Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. We're still talking about this news with this NBA scandal, and everybody else is talking about it. But one of the platforms that decided to touch on this was Valuetainment, Patrick Bet-David specifically. Now, Pat has had a lot of NBA guys on him. He had Kobe Bryant on there, which was one of his biggest interviews. He's had Shaq on there, if I'm not mistaken. He's had Magic Johnson on his platform. He recently has Scottie Pippen on his platform. So he generally has NBA guys, and he has an interest in basketball. And I'd actually texted with Pat a number of months ago about basketball and stuff like that. So he's an NBA fan. He's also even has Stephen A. Smith on there. So we know that he has an interest in it. And the biggest story right now is this scandal, right? And Pat is also firmly entrenched into the political world as well. So he not always, but he generally tends to view things through the prism of politics. And that's what happened here. So recently, as you guys know, Stephen A. Smith went on ESPN First Take and made some comments about the current sitting president, Donald Trump, where he was essentially saying that he believes that what we're seeing going down right now with, the FBI coming after these guys like Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, Damon Jones, he believes that the president may be the one spearheading this initiative, and Stephen A. Smith got a lot of flack from it. So I want to quickly play what Stephen A. Smith had to say on ESPN First Take, because a lot of it ties into what Patrick Bet-David is going to be saying here. Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith here just about a week or so ago.
But there's a macro perspective that everybody has to pay attention to, and this is where I come in. We're sitting on here on the sports show doing First Take. We all know what other stuff that I do. We know what world that I live in terms of politics. How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared because we're talking about this story, okay? Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world of sports because he had those casinos. Where do you think folks were coming half the time? I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be. This was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Mm-hmm. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, this man is coming. He's coming. And I've been saying it for a long time. And to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know. But anybody that has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen his reactions from the sports leagues and the positions that people have taken, they are not surprised at what's going on today. I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Yeah. Tell me when we've seen that. We've seen accusations before. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement. And it's a warning that more is coming. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're saying here. And everybody better, I'm just telling you, mm-hmm. It's as serious as it gets. This ain't the platform for me to get into it the way I'm going to get into it. But I've been saying he's coming. He's coming because in his eyes, folks try to throw him in jail. In his eyes, he's innocent. They try to put me behind bars. I'm getting everybody. He's not playing. And so this, in a lot of people's eyes, talk to people in the NBA, talk to people in the NFL, talk to people in the world of sports. They think this is like the tip of the iceberg. These are the kind of words that are coming out of people's mouths. It's not a surprise. It's very disheartening. It's very concerning. We don't know where this is going to go, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. Everybody's better brace themselves because he's coming.
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. So I tuned into the show from Valuetainment where they were discussing this topic, and it had the following headline of the show. And it says, LeBron better have my back. Will FBI probe Maverick Carter and prevent LeBron from Hall of Fame? And I'm like, whoa. So I decided to click on the show to hear what these guys were talking about. And Patrick Bet-David essentially says that he believes that Trump could be targeting LeBron James because of some of the things that he has said about him in the past. So for those of you who didn't hear what Patrick Bet-David had to say on the show, take a listen to his comments here, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
You know what the biggest fear is right now, Tom? If all of a sudden, you know who their superstar of the last 2 decades is that they're hoping has nothing to do with this? LeBron James.
Oh, for sure.
And let me tell you, who is LeBron James's guy?
Damon Jones.
No. I'm
Mav
talking
Carter?
management.
Lawyer?
I'm
Mav
talking
Carter?
management.
Rich Paul?
Okay.
Rich Paul?
I'm talking management. So do you know the story of Mav Carter?
I do. I mean, I know Mav. Why? I mean, maybe I don't know this story. What's the story?
Do you know his gambling story?
Oh, I'm familiar with a little bit of it, yes.
Okay. So Maverick Carter, who is who?
That's LeBron's guy.
That's LeBron's guy, and he's the CEO of Spring Hill Company.
Clutch Sports.
And uninterrupted. Clutch Sports, who is co-founded with who? LeBron James.
LeBron, yeah.
Rob, can you do me a favor? Ask ChatGPT, has Mav Carter had gambling issues in the past before? Yeah. And look how he answers the questions. According to multiple news reports, Mav Carter did admit in November of 2021, this is not a long time ago, okay, that he placed about 20 bets on football and basketball games over the course of a year ranging $5,000 to $10,000. He said he used the services of a bookie named Wayne Nix, who ran an illegal sports betting ring. Carter told investigators he could not recall placing bets on the Lakers, despite his close business association with team star player. Who is that? LeBron James. He was not charged with a crime. The statement from his side said he cooperated with investigators, was not a target, and has not been contacted again in this matter. Why? Well, the NBA can't afford to lose LeBron James, of course. While Carter admitted to the betting, the available public information does not show that he was found guilty of a crime. But what do you mean you do not recall placing a bet on the Lakers or not?
Yeah.
You do not recall. So here's what happens, okay? Here's what happens. Do you think President Trump has a memory where he remembers everybody who called him out?
1,000%.
And do you remember what LeBron called the president once? Steph Curry, a bum.
And he constantly went after him, constantly talked crap about the
administration. He called the president a bum. And do you think if there's any ties, text exchange, email exchange, of Mav Carter asking, Bron, you're going to play tonight, you're not going to play tonight, you think if there's anybody, if you put 10 names of people that know on any given night if LeBron's playing or not, where would this guy rank on that list? He'd be in the top 5
Maverick
list,
Carter?
Right? Yes.
He'd be numero uno.
So if there is an ounce of anything on LeBron, do you think Cash and their FBI will go investigating LeBron? And imagine if they do. Think about all the black eyes athletes have had. If this goes that direction, none of those things will come as close to this as possible. And guess who will not go in the Hall of Fame? LeBron James.
Wow, you think so?
I don't say I think so.
Yeah. No.
I said if. I know you say no. If they find anything that LeBron participated in helping his boy Mav, who's a gambler.
Admittedly, illegal gambler.
Illegal gambling, admitted, and nothing happened to him. And when that nothing happened to him, that was what year, 2021? Who was president in 2021?
Joe Biden.
Okay?
Auto pen.
That's right. So guess what he cares? That's nothing for him. If they go this route and they go after Trump, and I know you said something about Stephen A. Here's what you got to realize, Vinny, about Stephen A. My thoughts and also Stephen A. I haven't told this to Stephen A. Is who hates Stephen A?
LeBron James.
Who tried to destroy Stephen A's career?
Yeah,
LeBron James.
Who tried to make sure Stephen A never got a job? LeBron. Who hated the fact that he got the contract?
LeBron.
Who knows all those additional phone calls that were made behind closed doors? Who goes on Pat McAfee, who is the show after Stephen A, and drops the bomb on Stephen A talk? Who did that? LeBron did. You don't think, deep down inside, Stephen A is kind of rooting for Trump? Did you understand what I just went?
Excellent. So you heard what he had to say. Now, what are my thoughts about this? First of all, Stephen A. Smith came under a lot of fire when he made that point. But here you have Patrick Bet-David, who was a conservative, I believe, who voted for Trump, if I'm correct. And he's saying this. And he's even giving the reasons as to why he said that. Now, it's fair to say that the FBI director, Kash Patel, had smacked down what Stephen A. Smith said. He said, I think he said it was one of the most idiotic or ridiculous comments that he has ever heard in his life or something like that. So he pushed back on that notion. And obviously Kash Patel is going to do that because you don't want to say that, we're doing this because the president has a gripe with the NBA, right? You don't want to come out there and say that because now it looks like there's a political motivation behind this. But when you hear Patrick Bet-David say this, and who he himself, I'm sure is pretty plugged in, you begin to kind of think about it. Like, oh, well, damn, this could be a thing. And let's assume for a moment that is exactly what's going on. Huh! Folks, let me tell you, if that's in fact what's going on behind the scenes, then the ramifications could be devastating. Now, Patrick Bet-David is saying, he feels like, maybe the LeBron won't make the Hall of Fame. I think the impact of that will be even greater than that. Because LeBron James not making the Hall of Fame, yeah, it's a big deal, but it's more of a deal towards him. Like, it only affects him really. But if they go after LeBron and if they find a way to pull LeBron into this thing, it will be a disaster. It will be a total disaster because LeBron James is the face of the NBA. He's the face of the NBA. Now, I want to respond to something that I heard yesterday from Poetic Flacco, who was actually reacting to what Patrick Bet-David had to say, because Pat said that he believes that when LeBron James leaves the NBA, you'll witness an uptick in viewership. And Poetic Flacco's like, what are you talking about, LeBron? Poetic Flacco, shout out to you, man. I feel like you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to this. I feel like you don't. If maybe you've not been aware of the ratings have been plummeting over the last decade. And it really started ever since Kobe Bryant retired. That's when you really started to see a downtick in ratings. Number one. Number two, LeBron James is very, very polarizing. I don't know where you've been. I don't know what kind of NBA news you follow, but he's extremely polarizing. It's either you really like him or you really, really dislike him. The other thing that makes LeBron polarizing is because he also takes political stances. And whenever you take a political stance, whether it may be a conservative one, a liberal one, whatever it is, whether you're a Democrat, it's always going to piss off somebody. There's no two ways about it. But in terms of, he feels like the ratings will plummet, bro. Have you seen the ratings with him here? Have you seen what the All-Star game ratings have been? Have you seen what the NBA ratings have been? As a matter of fact, we saw an uptick in ratings when he was out of the playoffs in some of the games. It was only when we got to the finals and it was the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Indiana Pacers. That's when we saw a dip. But the ratings have been down, have been up since. Coming into this season, some of the ratings have been up. Even Michael Jordan's debut with NBC Sports, they brought in some great ratings. So I don't know what you're talking about. I think the ratings will do just fine. That's number one. Number two, have you heard of a guy called Victor Wembanyama? Have you heard of a chap called Victor Wembanyama is going to win the MVP this year? It's a donezo deal. He going to win it. The Spurs already 4-0. He going to probably win the Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP this year. So I don't know what he's talking about. But in terms of what Patrick Bet-David is talking about, I think he brings up some pretty sound points. And I think these are points that we need to pay attention to. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. And I'm out. Peace. I cannot tell you the amount of people that have contacted me over the last 24 hours or so about this topic. Even shout out to the basketball show. Even he messaged me yesterday. He's like, have you heard about this story yet? Did you discuss it? Everybody's messaged me about this damn story. As a matter of fact, we were doing a live the other day, and Mitch actually sent me a topic about this, and I touched on this briefly. The reason I haven't spoken about it since, is because we've just been caught up trying to talk about so many other things. But now people are like, bro, this should be a bigger story, Charles. I don't see why you're not paying much attention to this story. So for those of you who are unaware, the FBI is conducting a series of sweeping investigation, and names are coming out every single day. In terms of NBA players, the latest names we heard were Tyronn Lue and Kevin Garnett. Then yesterday we produced a show reacting to the news surrounding former NFL player Antonio Gates, if I'm not mistaken. He was now named in one of these games, right? So players are coming out left and right. So people are like, Charles, you need to get on the ball here because this ties into the everything, right? Especially with the Damon Jones thing. So what happened? Apparently, Maverick Carter, LeBron James's manager, also used an illegal bookie in 2000, I believe in 21, to bet on some NBA and I think NFL games. And they're like, Charles, what are you waiting for? So let's get to this report here. There are many articles that reported on it. I want to read the headline from a Yahoo Sports article stating the following. Maverick Carter, LeBron James' manager, reportedly used illegal bookie to bet on NBA game. And this article, by the way, was published, let me see if I see the date, November of 2023. It says Maverick Carter told federal agents he placed thousands of dollars worth of bets on NBA games and other sports via an illegal bookie, the Washington Post reported Thursday. Carter is LeBron James' manager and longtime business partner. Maintaining that James was not connected to the bets, Carter reportedly made the admission during a 2021 investigation into illegal bookie Wayne Knicks. The Washington Post reportedly confirmed the details of Carter's gambling activity through a review of federal law enforcement records. He reportedly wagered on 20 NBA and NFL games, which with each amount ranging from $5,000 to $10,000. James, a superstar for the Los Angeles Lakers and the league's all-time leading scorer, has been close friends with Maverick Carter since childhood. Carter told agents he could not remember placing any bets on the Lakers. The Washington Post found in an investigative report. You can't remember putting $5,000 to $10,000 on a you don't remember who you bet that money on? It's either you put a lot of bets or, anyway, we continue on. He says, having grown up in Akron, Ohio together, they currently share multiple investments. Carter and James co-owned the Spring Hill company, a media endeavor that was assessed a valuation of $725 million in 2021. They're both minority owners in the Boston Red Sox and English soccer club Liverpool. Adam Meldinson, a spokesperson for Carter and James, reportedly confirmed Carter's admission. It says, in 2021 and before 38 states of the District of Columbia legalized sports betting, Maverick Carter was interviewed a single time by a federal law enforcement regarding their investigation into Wayne Knicks. Medelson told the Washington Post in a statement, Mr. Carter was not the target of the investigation, cooperated, was never charged, and never contacted again on the matter. Medelson reportedly opted not to answer further questions about LeBron James, saying it had nothing to do with him. Carter reportedly denied placing bets for anyone else, and then the article then goes on to state a few other things there. Now, why are people saying to Charles, this is news? Why are people saying to Charles, you need to cover this, right? The reason they're saying it is because of the Damon Jones connection. Okay, why? Because we've now heard that Damon Jones was, essentially giving out insider information on injury reports and all of that. And Damon Jones is a close friend of LeBron James. So if you have a situation where you have Damon Jones, who got arrested by the federal government for stuff like this, you have Maverick Carter, who was a close friend of LeBron James. Both of these guys are cool with LeBron James. What does that say about the people the people within LeBron James's orbit? That's essentially what people are saying. And then people are also saying, wait a minute, why aren't more people talking about this? Well, the answer is very simple. Everybody wants it to go away. Who exactly do you expect to be talking about this? Who do you expect? Outside of independent creators, who are you expecting to talk about this? Ain't nobody going to touch this story. You expecting ESPN to talk about it? Wait a minute. You're expecting Nick Wright to talk about it? You're expecting Shannon Sharp to talk about it? Who are you expecting to talk about this story? Is it Gilbert Arenas you're waiting for to talk about this? Nobody's going to talk about this subject because they don't want to touch it. And the minute one of these known guys start talking about it, bro, it's a click, bro. It's a clique. Everybody knows everybody. So if one of the dudes within the clique starts talking about it, they're going to be like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's a clique. So if anything, they're going to wait for the government to unearth this information. Now, what I'll say is this. If I know this, the government knows this. I'll repeat it once more. If we know it, that's us here reporting on it, the government is also abreast of this information as well. And that is scary for those who are involved. Listen, I pray LeBron James is not a part of all. I mean that. I sincerely mean that. Why? Because it will be too devastating for basketball. It'll be devastating for him. There's no doubt about it. But for the sport, and I'm a fan of basketball, and I don't want to see basketball destroyed. I don't. So I'm praying that this stuff isn't true, because the impact will be devastating. Devastating. But I'll say this. When the FBI rolls on your ass, they not playing, bro. And these guys ain't playing. They're not playing. They're not playing. They're going to look for any and every. Remember, they have subpoena power. They can pull up stuff that an NBA can't pull up. Like, it could get ugly real quick. Not for the fans, but for these guys. So I'm praying that that's not the case. But if we as fans, we know this, they know it too. If they'd already looked at this guy back in 2021, and then you had this roundup that they did where they arrested over 30 individuals, and then now you're hearing Damon Jones apart, bro. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. And this particular FBI, they're not playing. They are not playing around. Now, we haven't heard anything since that moment, since the initial report from Kash Patel. I guess we have to wait and see if something else is said in the coming days and weeks. But it won't be good. I got a topic today that absolutely floored me. I was actually just driving home, and Mitch sends me a topic. Yeah, some of you LeBron fans, y'all want to get mad at me? Get mad at Mitch, because he be sending me some of these topics. You go get mad at Mitch too, right? Because he working with us, and he the one sending us these topics too. So he sends me this topic that absolutely floored me. I open it, and I want to show you guys the image that he showed me. It's from the account called Puberty, and this account has 41.6 million followers. 41.6 million followers. I also believe they have a YouTube channel, and their YouTube channel, okay, they're not really big on YouTube, but on Instagram, they're a massive company here. So anyway, they conducted a poll, right? And the poll, the image says, Michael Jordan gets voted as the greatest basketball player of all time. And the poll already has the image already has 150,000 likes. And then they put in the caption, they says, our fans voted Michael Jordan as the greatest basketball player of all time in a 77% versus 23% decision over Kobe Bryant. We plan on hosting more You Decide tournaments going forward on various subjects. Comment what subjects you'd like to see next. And then they say swipe on the right to view the bracket. So what we want to do is we actually want to put up the bracket, because I know LeBron fans are losing their damn mind. Even when I saw it, I was confused at first. So let's go through the bracket here. So let's zoom in. Okay, so I guess they did it by player by player. So let's start with the left-hand side. They did, in the first bracket, they had Michael Jordan, Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, James Harden. Michael Jordan won that, obviously. Then they had Shaq, Scottie Pippen in the next one, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Reggie Miller. So Shaq came out at that round. Then the next one, they had Magic Johnson and Dwayne Wade. Magic Johnson, he's the one that ultimately got voted over Bill Russell, who was in the next bracket with him. Then we get to the next one. Larry Bird and Steve Nash versus Tim Duncan and Patrick Ewing. So they moved to the next bracket. And then Larry Bird beat Tim Duncan. Now let's go to the other side of the bracket. Kobe Bryant versus Dirk Nowitzki. Obviously, Kobe's going to win that one. And Kevin Durant over Allen Iverson versus Allen Iverson. And KD won that one. And then Kobe got ranked over KD. Makes perfect sense there. Then Kevin Garnett versus Karl Malone. That's a tough one. And then we had Charles Barkley over John Stockton versus John Stockton. So Charles won his bracket, Garnett won his bracket, and they picked Garnett over Barkley. Interesting one. Then the next one, we had Oscar Robinson versus Hakeem Olajuwon. That's a good one. And then they had Jerry West versus Wilt Chamberlain. And then after that, Wilt Chamberlain advanced, and they also had him over Hakeem Olajuwon. That's an interesting one. Then next one, Stephen Curry versus Nikola Jokic, and LeBron James versus David Robinson. It gets interesting. So Curry advanced, LeBron advanced, and then they ranked LeBron, and then so they advanced, and then LeBron was ranked over Curry. Let's get to the next one. Next one was on the left-hand side, Jordan versus Shaq. The two met up, Jordan advanced. Let's get to the next one. Magic Johnson versus Larry Bird. Magic Johnson beat out Larry Bird to go to the finals. Then let's get to the other bracket. Kobe Bryant versus Kevin Garnett. Kobe Bryant advanced. Let's get to the next bracket. Wilt Chamberlain versus LeBron James, and LeBron advanced. And in the finals, it was Michael Jordan versus Magic Johnson. MJ advanced. And then on the other side, they had Kobe versus LeBron, and Kobe advanced. And then ultimately in the middle part, they have Michael Jordan, who won it all. And I'm assuming they had hundreds of thousands of voters. And I tried to see the amount of people. It must have been hundreds of thousands of people that voted on this poll, because again, the channel has 41 million members. 41 million members. 41 million. So it must have been hundreds of thousands of people that voted. And the people that voted came to the conclusion that Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time, which I agree. And he received 77%. So the people that voted on Jordan versus Kobe, 77% voted for Jordan over Kobe, which I understand. But then the people that voted for Kobe versus LeBron, the majority of the people voted for Kobe over LeBron, and therefore they became the two greatest players. And we get to the comment section, and LeBron fans were losing it. One guy wrote, you ain't got to show. One guy wrote, I love Kobe, but Kobe over LeBron is blasphemy. Another guy says, Kobe my GOAT. There was a few other ones that I saw before. And like I said, I knew the poll was cooked when I saw Kobe over LeBron. Kobe over LeBron, haven't heard a bigger joke than that. In other news, water is wet. Another guy said LeBron is better, and people just kept on crying in the comments. It just went on and on and on and on and on. It was just, it was pretty sad. Like the poll, the comments there were over 4,500 comments. It's a lot of comments. What are my thoughts about this? Well, we can all agree that Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. I think we can all agree on that unanimously without much questions there. I think Kobe's better than LeBron. There are people that think LeBron is better than Kobe, which is cool. Now, if you think LeBron is better than Jordan, you're insane. That's what, if you want to think that LeBron is better than Kobe, fine. If you want to say he's better than Jordan, I think you're insane. That one, I don't think there's any argument to be made on earth. If you want to say LeBron is better than Kobe Bryant, fine. You go make your argument. But to say that he's better than Michael Jordan, I think you're just trolling at that point. I think you're just using emotion, and it's going to be a dumbass argument anyway, because I've heard them all. They're going to start talking about who's playing Michael Jordan. It's always some outside the box argument, right? Some kind of obscure argument that they got to make. But I mean, I don't think anybody should be surprised that Michael Jordan got the most votes. I think it's going to probably remain that way. And I agree with that. And I'm a Kobe fan, and I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. The fundamental difference between LeBron fans and everybody else, fans of other players can all easily and openly admit without losing any sleep, Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. Fans of LeBron James, for them to admit that Michael Jordan is the GOAT, they can't do it. And that's the fundamental. The only people that believe LeBron James is the greatest player of all time are LeBron James fans. That's about it. They're the only group. But somehow this group became the prevailing viewpoint. No, you got a lot of LeBron fans in media that started ranking him high. That's it. And that's all. The vast majority of NBA fans don't believe that. And the vast majority of NBA fans are not all Michael Jordan fans. They're fans of other players as well. And they all believe Jordan is the GOAT. So how is it possible that this one fan base, now all of a sudden their viewpoint becomes the major thing? Come on, man. Knock it off. Coming into this season, as usual, there are various storylines that are discussed. But I think a particular storyline that we need to pay attention to is that of one Victor Wembanyama. Folks, it's over. It's over. It is over. Victor Wembanyama is going to win the MVP this year. And I think it's a done deal. I think it's a done deal, bro. If this guy remains healthy, he's winning the MVP. Guys, the Spurs, and I know it's very early, they've only been 5 games played so far, 4 games. The Spurs currently have the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They haven't lost a single game in that time frame. Now, if we look at the, let me see if I can pull it up here. Spurs stats. I haven't actually looked at some of their stats yet, but I want to see if I can look up some of the Spurs stats this year. Let me go year by year stats. Let me see if I can pull it up. If you look at the Spurs stats, it's actually insane, right? It's actually insane. So let's look at what they're doing this season. Right now, obviously, it's still early. They're number 1 in the Western Conference. They're scoring 121 points per game, which is 11th. Opponents are giving up only 104. So they have the number 1 ranked defense in the NBA right now. They're the number 1 ranked. It's only 4 games, but they're the number 1 ranked defense. Their offensive rating is number 6, and their defensive rating is number 1, 104.9. And the major reason for this defensive rating is because of one Victor Wembanyama. The last game that Victor played, this guy is just absurd. He scored 31 points. He had 6 blocks, 3 steals, 4 assists, 14 rebounds on 43% shooting from the field, and he didn't shoot particularly well from the field. And this season, Victor Wembanyama is averaging 31 points per game on 60% shooting from the field. Let me just put that into context for you. Last year, he averaged 24.3. His scoring has gone up by 7 points. His shooting percentage, he averaged 47.6% from the field. He's now shooting 60%. And a lot of that has to do with something I'm going to mention right now, is he's limited his threes. Last year, he was shooting 8.8 threes a game. This year, he's only taking 2.8, which is smart. Not like these dumbass, this is the smartest ever when you have 7-footers just up there shooting threes, taking out their size. Like, so why is everybody, why be 7 foot? Why everybody just be the same height at this point? He's only shooting 2.8 threes, which is smart. He's making 36% of them. So even if he's not shooting a high percentage, he's not shooting a high volume to hurt his team. Even if he was shooting a bad, poor percentage, he's shooting 80% from the free throw line. He's averaging 13.8 rebounds, 2.8 assists, 1.5 steals, and 4.8 blocks. It's over. Let me tell you something right now. Victor Wembanyama is going to win the Defensive Player of the Year. It's a done deal. There's no better defender in basketball than him. Offensively, he's going to average, I think, around 30. And the Spurs are winning. If Victor finishes the year with one of the top 4 seeds in the West, he keeps averaging these numbers he's putting up, not only is he winning the MVP, He's also going to win a Defensive Player of the Year, and he's also going to win the Most Improved Player of the Year too. If that makes any sense. Now, some people feel like, oh, only a rookie. No, you can win the Most Improved Player if you just play better that year, and it's a significant jump in your game. You can win it. Players like Paul George have won it. Giannis has won it. So players have done it. If he does that, bro, it's over. In terms of the hierarchy in the NBA, I think by the end of this year, Victor is going to be the best player in basketball. Yeah. I don't think I'm being overzealous about it. This is not hyperbole. This is not a hot take. This is not a prisoner moment kind of take. I think he's going to be the best player in basketball at the end of this year. I 100% believe it. Yeah. If he keeps it up. He's going to be better than Nikola Jokic. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he's going to be able to have a greater impact on the game on both sides of the floor. Nikola Jokic hasn't beat with his passing. He hasn't beat with his passing. But when it comes to how he affects the game defensively and how he can change shots, and then what he does offensively, I think the premium is just too great. Because even when Nikola Jokic is passing, it's still offense. Victor he'll be the most impactful player in basketball. So if he's not the best player, he's going to be a top 3 player. I mean, because the best players right now are, no particular order, Nikola Jokic, SGA, Giannis, Luka, and I can think of somebody else. But at the end of the year, it's going to be this dude. And I think we have a shot at witnessing a guy win a Defensive Player of the Year and an MVP in the same year. It's going to happen at this rate. And I'm all for it. My God.